Es otro día más, volví a empezar de cero. Tengo que trabajar para ganar dinero.
We've essentially adopted the language of national movements for $15 an hour minimum wage. And locally, the SEIU, one of the labor unions, is pushing their Fight for 15 campaign as part of this effort. So the first targets which we can impact here locally are the city and the county. So we're pushing for the county to increase its wages. This year they already increased the wages to minimum of $10. Not a huge jump, but there were workers who were making less than 10. So they've agreed to start with $10 this year, and then the push is within 3 or 5 years to get them up to $15 an hour. And the city will be next year. The goal will be to get the city to increase the minimum wage for all its workers to $15 an hour.
The minimum wage has not been raised since 2009. According to the chart, the minimum wage has plateaued. In order to meet the cost of living, one would have to make an estimated $11.60 an hour. With the current minimum wage of $7.25 an hour in Texas, a person is making $4.35 an hour less than their living expenses.
10 para adelante sería bueno, yo creo.
Pienso que sí, una cierta cantidad sí estaría bueno.
Estaría bien, ya que el salario de $7.25 no alcanza para nada.
According to the graph, with the current federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, a single parent who works full-time year-round does not earn enough to be above the federal poverty line. This was not always the case. Throughout the 1960s and early 1970s, a full-time job of a full-year minimum wage income was above the poverty line for a family of 2. Currently, with the inflation of the cost of living and stagnant earnings, a person working the same minimum wage job is earning below the poverty line.
No se puede vivir con esa cantidad. Incluso tienen que ser más personas que trabajen en una familia para poder completar pues su renta, sus biles, sus gastos de gasolina, la comida. O sea, con 7.25 no cumple.
Se ha incrementado todo lo demás menos el salario.
La renta, los biles.
No, todo es más caro, menos el salario se ha quedado estancado por muchos años. Y cuando ha subido, sube muy poquito. Yo trabajo y yo sí me pagan más o menos, en el día 120, por menos son 100, pero hay gente que gana más poquito, claro. Hay gente que gana menos del mínimo, muchos trabajan por $60 y no es el mínimo. Y hay muchos empleos de esos. Y yo creo que una gente que tiene un carrito no puede pagar ni seguranza, con ese salario no.
¿Cuánto ganas tú?
25 diarios.
25 diarios, entonces estás fuera de eso, ¿verdad?
Fuera del mínimo.
There are so many people that work so hard every day. They work full time or more than full time, and they still don't have enough to provide for their families. It's really unfortunate that we don't give these families the opportunity to have a living wage. They have to choose between putting food on the table and maybe having health insurance, and it's definitely something that I don't think is fair. And so I'm here supporting this movement. This country is, we pay our service industry workers way too little, and we need to start raising those wages and giving them something that they can live on.
I think companies out there who are stealing wages, who are like, don't want to increase the wages that they're paying. Maybe they're doing the job a little too cheap. Maybe they're cutting corners. They charge too cheap, so they have to cut corners. And if they don't cut corners, they have to cut wages. I mean, it's a domino effect. Mm-hmm. It's a domino effect. So if you started off wrong to begin with you're just giving the lowest price just so they can give you the job, I mean, that's the wrong way to start. You know what I mean? So obviously that's going to trickle down and affect how much profit you're going to make, how much you're going to spend on materials. Are you going to buy quality materials? Mm-hmm. It trickles down to the labor. I'm not going to make any money. And you know what? Maybe that's when they get their ideas. Hey, let's not pay this guy, or we'll pay him next week and next week and next week.
Actually, I'm against the higher minimum wage. It's because it may hurt the people exactly it want to help. Because assume I'm like a small owner, like I own a restaurant. So originally assume that I may have just enough money, maybe hire like 6 people. And it leaves me a little bit of profit because I'm the owner, I still need to earn some money there.
Okay.
But now with higher minimum wage, probably if you simply increase from 8 to 9, I'm good. And maybe 9 to 10, I'm okay, but I'm not sure when the change will happen. But definitely, if you're changing like from 8 to 13 or even to 15, I may say, okay, then I cannot afford to hire 6 people. Now actually I'm only going to hire maybe 3 or even 4. And that means like 2 people, they're going to lose their job. So of course, 4 people, they're having a better life. Instead of maybe $10, now they have 13 or 15. But then the other 2 exactly, they don't even have the 10 or 8.
For a family of 4 in El Paso to meet the standard cost of living, they would need to earn an estimated amount of $49,691.20 a year. This is only focusing on medical care, transportation, housing, and food.
If 2 parents, if they work 40 hours per week, get a minimum wage, and support 2 kids, I think that's manageable.
Aquí en El Paso, la mayoría de las personas viven muy por debajo de la pobreza. Entonces, un aumento de sueldo haría más o menos sustentable la calidad de vida.
I would pay my employees more. Maybe there's companies out there that wouldn't, but I would. Okay, and that's just me speaking for myself. So if the minimum wage would go up to an increase of, I don't know, $3 an hour, just for example. Obviously, my guys that were making $15 an hour, I would increase them to $18 an hour. Okay, I would keep up with the increase. Would that affect, prices? Would that affect how much our customers are going to pay? Absolutely.
En El Paso, pues nos falta un movimiento fuerte, ¿no? And we don't have that sort of movement, right, to really change our local government. And so part of what the committee has done is it's brought in nonprofit organizations, labor unions, estudiantes, people from any sector can come in and support. And I think the future for me is in terms of what I want to focus on is trying to bring UTEP students and local students into the fight, because if we want to stay here, we want to make sure that they're going to pay us and they're not going to steal our wages. So I think that's the goal, is to get more students involved.
Que con el robo de salario, que aquí se vive a diario. Las estadísticas no dicen lo contrario. Más de 800,000 en población. Vamos llegando al millón y seguimos contando con la explotación. Mientras el nivel de pobreza sigue incrementando a 26%. Y el valor de mi trabajo se lo están robando a 7.25 la hora. Ahora yo ya estoy hasta el cuello con tanto student loan. Voy a bajarme del camión. ¿Quién dijo que la